Husband, 30s, interrupts me, 30s, throughout the workday in random short bursts of annoyances. We work on separate floors of our house, but I swear being at home is revealing just how much I find him annoying when I'm trying to work. I can hear him talking to himself throughout the day or yelling at the dog when she makes noise, and he will randomly come upstairs and just tell me about something unimportant of his work, and it's so aggravating. I'm trying to be understanding and not the asshole because I know he means well and is not intentionally trying to be a bother. I also feel bad because I will take very short breaks where I just read an article on my phone or stretch or grab coffee, so I guess he thinks I'm free to be talked to during those periods when really I just want to use the time to be in my own head instead of constantly having to be on during the workday or having to listen to his stupid stories or problems. I like that he feels he can talk to me, but it's really a huge annoyance for me. I don't want to sound like a total asshole to him. I have asked him to not talk to me during the workday before, but I guess he's forgotten by now. He requires a lot of mental stimulation and talking through things in detail, whereas I'm the opposite. If I ask him to act how I need him to, then that's not fair for him either. TL Doctor, my husband has good intentions in talking to me throughout the day while we're working, but it's conflicting with my nature of needing quiet to concentrate. How do I balance accommodating both his needs and mine? Have lunch together to discuss this, and maybe at evening tea. What a lot of people have missed about being in the office is the social side. Being able to stick your head around the monitor and ask someone a question / ask how their day was / laugh at that stupid email you've all just got. It sounds like your husband is trying to recreate that a bit at home, and that's both fair enough and possibly important to his well-being. That said, it irritates the hell out of you, so I think you need to discuss it a bit more because at the moment neither of you is getting what you need. Can you set aside time that you are willing to have a 5 minutes chat, twice a day or something? Can he schedule informal catch-ups with team members or find ones who are willing to have DMs fired at them when he wants to share something? Is there another compromise that means neither of you is getting annoyed or resentful, but both can protect your well-being at an already stressful time? And if that doesn't help, get a lock for your office and some noise-cancelling headphones. Do you get to have in-depth conversation before or after work? This may just be your husband feeling lonely and needing some quality time with the one person he can see on a regular basis. I've had similar experiences with my boyfriend since we moved in together during quarantine. He's a people person, and before quarantine he'd get his share of social interaction during the day, so when we saw each other after, he was somewhat tired and he just wanted to hang out somewhat quietly. Since quarantine he does everything from home, so he's not really seeing a lot of people. I did encourage him to take on some additional group projects which helps with the social interaction, but it just isn't the same for him. Since I need more space and quiet than he does, especially now we're around each other all the time, we worked out an arrangement that works for both of us. Basically, he doesn't interrupt me during the workday when I'm in my home office, except to offer me some lunch or tea, and I do the same for him when I take a break, and in return I free up at least an hour of my time in the evening and he gets my undivided attention for that hour every day. He has been super positive about the quality time we get to spend together every day, and it seems to have made it much easier for him to let me be during the day. He talks so much throughout the day that I never get a mental break, and by the time I'm done working, I'm so exhausted I can barely listen to anything more. I don't know what to do. My husband does this. He'll just walk into my office and start talking about whatever he just did at work with no warning. Sometimes you have to be blunt. Smile, talk to him about it gently at a good time and agree on a way for you to tell him when he's doing this. I just say, I'm trying to work, please tell me later, or something of the sort. In terms of his making noise talking to himself or the dog, I would try noise cancelling headphones before you ask him to change his habits there. It's hard to be totally silent while working. Are you me? I'm in a small apartment, so my husband just has to swivel his chair to talk to me, but I had pretty much the same problem. The advice I got, and helped me, is to actively put aside time to talk to him about these things. That way, rather than saying don't talk to me all day, I was basically saying hey, can't talk now but I want to, so let's set aside the same time every day for lunch so that we can talk then. I really need to get work done during the rest of the time, though. So he's probably using you as a proxy for talking to actual co-workers during the day. So also encourage him to chat with his co-workers about issues they come up with work. Hey, that's frustrating. What did Sam think about that? Did you ask Kathy about that? If he starts having other people to vent to, he'll start venting to you less. As for him talking to himself, wear some noise-cancelling headphones and listen to music, an ebook, white noise, whatever. You can't get him to change ingrained habits overnight, but you can do simple things like this to make sure you can stay focused, and also signal to him can't listen now. He saved her number under a new name. My boyfriend, M32, and I, F24, got together in the beginning of November of 2019. He had such a huge crush on me that he showed up at a party just to see me after I kept ghosting him. We fell in love so quickly because we just clicked. It was like we grew up in the same household, liked all the same music, food, and had a lot of similar morals and experiences. The only thing we differed in was he loves to smoke weed but I do not. We moved in together in December 2019. Eventually, he told me that he can see a life with me, including marriage and children. He said he thought we were meant to be. Now, my boyfriend has an unconventional job, rolling joints for dispensaries, but he works at home. I was laid off again due to COVID in the beginning of this month, December 2020. About a week ago, I looked through his phone and I discovered that he had been texting a girl that lives in our apartment complex wanting to smoke weed with her. He told her that he lived alone. He was looking forward to seeing her again. Well, the girl stopped replying. He sent her 3 or 4 messages over the next couple weeks saying things like ghosted lol and you could have told me you didn't want to hang out. Not replying is just rude. That last message was sent on the 17th of December and she hasn't replied since the beginning of December. I went through his phone 6 days later. I blew up on him. He insisted that he only wanted a smoking buddy, and he tells anyone he doesn't know that he lives alone. He apologized profusely while looking into my eyes and said that he would delete the number and never talk to her again. Mind you, he always gets jealous whenever I even speak to another guy. Had I done this to him, it would have been a whole different story. I took down her number in case he decided he was going to save her number under a different name. Now 5 days after I've blown up on him, I found her number last night in his phone under SB Smoking Buddy. I don't know what to do. Our whole lives are entwined with each other. I know that he loves and cares about me, and obviously I'm still in love with him. I know that it was so wrong to go through his phone, but I honestly didn't think he would do this to me. All of my friends are telling me I need to leave even just for a few days so that he knows I'm serious. He woke up with a major migraine this morning, so I haven't said anything yet. The last time when I blew up on him, he told me he would change his password. I told him that I wouldn't change mine, so he did not change his. If I tell him again, he will most definitely change it, so then I really won't be able to know if he is actually cheating. I'm so hurt and lost, so if anyone can shed some light on my situation, I would greatly appreciate it. Too long didn't read. My boyfriend that I live with got the number of another girl in our complex and told her he lived alone. I blew up on him, and he told me he would delete her number. I found her number again under a different name in his phone. Help. You can believe one of two things. 1, he's cheating on you, or he's looking to cheat on you. He's lying about it for obvious reasons, and he's probably going to leave you as soon as it's convenient for him to do so. 2, he's not cheating on you and just wants a smoking buddy. He's lying about still talking to this woman because he has so little respect for you and your concerns that he's prioritizing a meaningless weed smoking buddy over you, the girlfriend he supposedly loves. Either way, this relationship is doomed. You can't trust him, you shouldn't trust him, and he doesn't deserve your feelings. His version of love involves lying, heartbreak, manipulation, and lack of respect. He has a crush on her, just the way he used to on you. He could have any number of smoking buddies. The fact that he's hung up on smoking with this one woman long past the point where she has shown him she's not at all interested in doing anything with him, says to me that this guy has a crush on her. If she ever gives in to his advances, he'll be gone from your life. Listen, this guy's 32 and likes the chase. He's already caught you. The challenge is gone. Definitely don't get married and don't have kids with him. This guy is also a grade A creep. He kept bugging her repeatedly after she stopped replying to him, and saved her as smoking buddy even though she clearly wants nothing to do with him or with being his buddy. If I were her, I'd be dreading running into this guy who knows where I live and obviously doesn't understand boundaries. He showed up to see op after being ghosted as well. That may sound romantic to a 23-year-old, but really it's just another example of him ignoring a woman's wishes to continue pursuing her. This guy is gross. Now, my boyfriend has an unconventional job, rolling joints for dispensaries, but he works at home. Girl, what? Lol. Dispensaries don't send weed home so that their employees can roll them. I think he's lying to you about more than one thing. This dude is a drug dealer, if he even has a job. Lol. Are you sure he even has a job? He's clearly trying to cheat on you and you know this. You even wrote her number down in prep for when he saves it under a different name, so he's done this to you before. Anyway, I don't believe that your boyfriend works for a dispo rolling joints from home. First, that's highly illegal. No dispensary will ever send home bud for employees to roll at home, because weed needs to be kept in a perfectly controlled room and have a sterile environment, and a home has none of those. So, I think he's lying about having a job. Get out. This dude stalked you to get you to date him, you moved in after a month, and clearly there's already trust issues established. Op needs to pay much more attention to this aspect of his life. Is she sure he's employed? This job description is highly suspect, if not a downright fabrication, for all these reasons listed above and more. That shit needs to be tightly inventoried, etc. A home isn't a business, thus wouldn't have the license necessary legal to roll for a dispensary, even in a recused state. That's like business level quantities. If y'all got reported and police showed up, that'd be a gigantic liability for the dispensary. Dude may very well be lying about more than just this girl to op. He had such a huge crush on me that he showed up at a party just to see me after I kept ghosting him. So, you weren't interested in this guy, and he harassed you until you gave in. That's not cute. And you say immediately afterwards, we fell in love so quickly because we just clicked, and that you had so much in common. You went from ghosting him to moving in with him within 4 weeks. This sounds like this guy pursued you until you gave him a chance, then he went out of his way, mirroring your interests, love bombing you, to convince you he was your dream guy. I discovered that he had been texting a girl that lives in our apartment. He sent her 3 or 4 messages over the next couple weeks saying things like ghosted lol. Ah, there's that word again. Ghosting. Your boyfriend apparently has a habit of pursuing/harassing women that have demonstrated they aren't interested in him. That's a really disturbing quality in a person. This guy has proven he's untrustworthy. Yes, your lives are entwined, so now would be a good time to start getting them unentwined. Found out my 25F partner, 26M, watches violent and incestuous porn. I am on mobile, please forgive formatting. My partner and I have been living together for about 2 years. We have a 2-year-old and a 3-month-old. We routinely go on each other's phone to search things up when we can find our own. Use the flashlight, etc. We always done it and our phones have pretty much become interchangeable. On Christmas Eve after he fell asleep, I couldn't find my phone and wanted to look up a shortbread recipe. I used his and was horrified to find very disturbing, violent and honestly quite scary porn videos and images. There were at least 20 different pages open. I immediately asked him about it and he insisted he had no idea. Eventually he admitted that yes, he had searched for these images and had been doing it the entire time we've been together. He said he doesn't even use them to masturbate to usually, he just feels urges to look at these types of pornographic images throughout the day. When he goes to bathroom, in the shower, when he's in a different room, while I'm sleeping etc. He has of course masturbated to them and admitted many nights he actually slept on the couch without me noticing because he'd fallen asleep afterwards and he gets up at 4 AM for work, so I didn't even notice. He admitted he'd go to sleep at 8 to 9 PM knowing he'd wake up again around midnight and have an opportunity to look at the images. I feel very uneasy and sick because the images/videos were vile and I'm honestly almost scared to have him around my children. I feel like I've lived with a stranger these years and that he isn't really the person I knew at all. He admitted that it is definitely a problem/addiction and I see some correlation to childhood traumas he's experienced. I just don't know what to do. I'm currently staying in a hotel and am unsure if this separation is permanent. What would you do? Would you stay or leave? I realize this is an addiction like any other and feel compelled to support him through his recovery because I do almost feel bad for him, but it also makes me physically ill to even talk to him. I'm conflicted. I love him so much and miss him intensely, but then again I am disgusted by this side of him and feel like the person I fell in love with is not who is now. Too long didn't read. My partner and father of my children has an addiction to graphic, violent and disturbing pornography and I am unsure as to whether I should stay or go. Edit, I'm sure everyone is just assuming I am a prude who doesn't know what fetishes are and is divorcing my husband over finding some BDSM content or something. I have some unique fetishes and kinks myself. BDSM is not graphic or disturbing. It could be considered violent but hardly. This is gore, blood, severe beating, women screaming for their lives. Scary stuff.